to the Advanced Level English Literature classroom of SPC Study Packs. Okay, the lesson today is The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. And this is the second drama of the A-level syllabus. Okay, let's see what we are going to learn about the drama Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. First, I'm going to talk about the socio-cultural background of the play. You all know that the socio-cultural background of the play, a play is very important because when you answer the questions, it's very important to know the background details in order to elaborate your answer. So, coming into the socio-cultural background of the play, we have 4 points here and I will describe the 4 points to you. The play is set in St. Louis in Missouri in the United States of America in 1930s. And this is set against the backdrop of the Great Depression. I know for sure, now you might wonder what this Great Depression is. Great Depression, look at the images. Wanted a job, wanted a decent job, and the qualifications are there hung on the neck, and you can see jobless men keep going. So the Great Depression, I can simply describe to you, it was the greatest economic crisis of the world, especially in the United States of America. And I need to tell you that this story, the play The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams, is woven around a family during this Great Depression of the United States of America. And remember, the playwright Tennessee Williams, the story is with the details and it is related to the experiences of the playwright Tennessee Williams. So those are the basic details about the socio-economic backgrounds, socio-cultural backgrounds of the play. Okay, now look at this. Look at the image. What is a glass menagerie? The topic of the play, the glass menagerie. I know for sure you are questioning, what is a glass menagerie? Look at the image. I hope you can see there are some glass animals touched by a girl. Yes, it is. A glass menagerie is a display of glass animals. And in the play, we will look into the play and we will further understand why Tennessee Williams has specifically taken this kind of a name to the play, and I will further explain in the coming slides. Next, very important, the setting of the play. Setting, as we spoke about, the first slide, which is the socio-cultural background, that is important, and this is also very important, the setting of the play. So, the setting of the play, you can see in the images, a wall of an apartment, an old apartment, and you see a staircase which is a fire escape, and you can see an image of a living room. Yes, the story takes place specifically in a place called Wingfield Family's Apartment. Wingfield Family's Apartment in St. Louis in Missouri in the United States of America. And the play takes place mainly in the living room of the apartment of Wingfield family. And the scene, there are 7 scenes. There are 7 scenes framed by Tom's memory. There are 7 scenes in the setting of the play through the memory of the main character, the narrator. The setting is brought to you. Okay, we'll move into the next slide and see what are we going to learn. Yeah, the characters, very, very important, the characters. The first and the main character, the important character is Tom Wingfield. Tom Wingfield, he's the narrator of the story, he's the narrator of this play, and also not only the narrator, he is also a character in the story, character in the play. That is important, that is special in this drama, which is a memory play. Okay, third, look at the third point, breadwinner. You know the meaning of the word breadwinner. Tom Wingfield is the breadwinner of his family where the father figure is absent. Father is not there at this home, so Tom Wingfield, a young, energetic man, he is the breadwinner of the family. And the fourth point, he is caught between responsibilities at home. If he is the breadwinner, you all can understand that. He is caught in between the responsibilities of the family. The father is not there, he is the son, and there is the mother and the sister, three of them. He is taking care of the family. He is paying the bills, he is doing everything for the family, being a young man. Okay, look at the fifth point, somewhat different. Colleagues call him as Shakespeare. Something a bit different, peculiar. Colleagues call him Shakespeare. I will simply describe it to you. You will further get to know when I describe the scenes about Tom Wingfield, the main character of the story. Colleagues call him Shakespeare because he is more into the arts and literature. He is more into the movies. He's interested in movies. And we have to think Tom Wingfield as to why he's caught in between the responsibilities, but he is interested in movies. Yeah, we have to have a question mark. Okay, why he is into movies? How comes that he has time to go to movies? Right, we'll further get to know in the coming slides. Right, going to the next part, next character, the second character of the play, Laura Wingfield. Laura Wingfield, the same name, Wingfield family, in the Wingfield apartment. Laura Wingfield, she is Tom's sister, Tom Wingfield, his sister, and Amanda's daughter, Amanda Wingfield's daughter. And the second point, look at this, differently abled, delicate young girl. She is differently abled. And she's delicate, a young girl. Look at the third point. Shy and nervous. And the fourth point, attempts escape through glass menagerie. Yes, that's the point. Which I spoke earlier in the previous slide. What is a glass menagerie? Yes, here it is. Glass menagerie, and recall the picture that you saw in the previous slide about you saw some glass animals touched by a girl. Yeah, that was exactly Laura Wingfield, and she was spending her time. She uses these glass animals in order to distract herself, in order to go to a different world, because she is shy and nervous, because she is differently abled. She is afraid to face the society. She is nervous because she is differently abled. And you know what is the meaning of differently abled? We don't use the word actually disabled. It's differently abled we call. So she is worried. Looking at the other girl, she is worried. Why it's like this to me? Why it happened to me like this? So glass menagerie is the way of escape for her. She uses the glass menagerie, a set of beautiful transparent animals, some kind of toys. She touches and she talks to these glass, and she spends the time in a kind of a relaxed manner. Okay, moving to the next character, Mr. Wingfield. I told you when I described the character Tom Wingfield, the narrator of the play, father figure is not here in this play. Tom Wingfield, the main character, the narrator of the play, he is the breadwinner, I told you. So this Mr. Wingfield is the physically absent father in the play of Tennessee Williams. This Mr. Wingfield's portrait, look at the second point, represented through his portrait. The story takes place in the setting, whereas in the living room you find a picture, a portrait hung always of Mr. Wingfield. That is the only presence of Mr. Wingfield. He is not here in this family to help the family. He has abandoned the family. It's pathetic. Okay, moving to the next character, Jim OConnor. Jim OConnor. He does not belong to the family Wingfield. Okay, look at the first point. A success in his high school. Second point, works with Tom at the warehouse of the shoemaking company. A cheerful, optimistic young man. Jim is also young and Jim OConnor is also young. Amanda's expected gentleman caller. Gentleman caller, somewhat different. The word is somewhat different. Gentleman caller. Okay, another question mark. I know that you have it. Okay, who is a gentleman caller? I will simply describe it to you. You call a gentleman caller a boyfriend, a good partner, where a mother finds for the daughter a good partner. Amanda, the mother of the play, expects a gentleman caller to her only crippled, differently abled daughter, Laura Wingfield, and Jim OConnor is the expected gentleman caller, expected partner. But we find out in the scenes when I talk about, you will find that dream shatters. Right, going to the next part. Yeah, it's scenes, it's about the scenes, right? We have 7 scenes in the play. 7 scenes we have in the play, do remember. So I will brief out, it's very difficult. I'm going to compress the scenes and I'm going to summarize the scenes to you. Scene 1, I will brief out to you. First, Tom's opening description. I told you this is a memory play. A memory play. The narrator, the main character of the story, Tom Wingfield, he narrates the story through his memory. He goes back to the memory lane and he brings you through the flashback technique. He brings you the opening description where you find out he describes the socio-economic background of the country in the era of 1930s. He describes that people are sad with unemployment. People are depressed with unemployment. So he describes in the opening description. And also, not only that, he describes to the audience about one by one, he describes the characters of the play. The characters of the play, such as his mother, Amanda Wingfield, his only sister, Laura Wingfield, and about his colleague, Jim OConnor, and also he did not forget to talk about Mr. Wingfield, even though he's not available, present in the story. Yes, and after that opening description in the scene 1 of Glass Menagerie, second part, in the first scene, the second part of the first scene is at the dinner table. At the dinner table, there's a nice scenery where you find mother Amanda Wingfield. She starts to criticize. She starts to talk about the table manners. She starts to talk about the table etiquettes with the son who's a grown-up. Tom Wingfield, he's really sad. He's really depressed with the way how this mother, every morning, every night at the table, when they take meals, she's criticizing, oh son, take the spoon in the proper manner, take the fork in the proper manner, don't push the food, chew the food slowly. That's the way how the mother, Amanda, criticizes the son, and the son is really depressed. That happens in the scene 1. And also, I'm still in the scene 1. Be with me, I'm in the scene 1. In scene 1, at the end of the scene 1, you find out, what you find out, whereas the mother brings out, she narrates the stories of her history about 17 gentlemen callers. Oh my God, 17 gentlemen callers. You'll wonder, at once, a girl, could she have 17 gentlemen callers at once? How are you going to handle, how are you going to cope up? Yes, she recalls the memory. Memories where she talks about the 17 gentlemen callers, and you must watch that scene in the play. It's beautiful, where she's a mere chatterbox. She keeps on telling how she did this, how she used her wit and all to handle the 17 gentlemen callers. Yeah, but okay, that is actually the end of scene 1. And I must mention, at the end of the scene 1, Amanda, she is worried about her daughter. She wants to motivate the daughter, bringing out the history. She wants to motivate the differently able daughter, bringing out the history of herself, where she was very happy, she was very active, she invited 17 gentlemen callers in the Blue Mountains in the United States of America in Missouri. So she, with the stories again and again brought out, which made Tom and Laura really bored with the same story repeated again and again. Even you might have the same situation at home, the mother's telling the stories of the old days. Even I experienced that. Right, okay. We are moving to the second scene. Scene 2. Scene 2, Amanda finds the reality of Laura. Mother finds the reality of only daughter. What is the reality that she finds? Yes, Laura is a cripple. And Amanda happens to go to the college of Laura Wingfield. And she finds out that the daughter is not going to college. That the daughter has left the college and she has been walking in the park, walking in the museum during the lessons. And she has left the college, oh my God. She finds out. And she comes back home at once and she questions the daughter. Why did you do like this? Laura Wingfield is with the glass menagerie. Her world is glass menagerie. Her life is not with the school matters. Her life is with not friends. The life is not like coping up with friends, no society, nothing. It's the glass menagerie that gives life to Laura Wingfield. This is the reality that Amanda finds about Laura, and also Amanda tries to motivate Laura in some or the other way to have a good family, have a good future, find a good gentleman caller. Those are the big hopes that Amanda has on her daughter. But nothing takes place. She's worried, mother is worried in the scene 2. Okay, we are moving to the scene 3. Tom argues with Amanda, the main character. Argues with the mother. Tom argues, why does he argue with the mother? I told you, she's a nagging mother. She's a nagging mother, whereas she always tries to make the things prim and prom. She wants everything perfect with the son. And I must mention, Amanda Wingfield is a Southern belle. A Southern belle. A woman from an economically upper class family. Socio-economically upper class family. This lady, Amanda, is from. So she's more into the manners, she's more into the table etiquettes, so and so. But unfortunately, she fell in love with Mr. Wingfield, and now Mr. Wingfield has abandoned the family, but still she sticks to Amanda. She sticks to the son and daughter, Laura and Tom. Think about this mother now. What kind of a mother is this? Whether you also have such a mother at home. Okay, so Tom argues with Amanda for such reasons, where the mother always criticizes and mother wants the perfect manners and so and so. Right, we are moving to the next scene, scene 4. Tom returns from movies. I told you, Tom was known as Shakespeare by his colleagues. Why? He was more into art and literature. He went to movies. After coming back home from the warehouse work, in the night he went to the movies and came back home in the midnight. The next day he goes to work, does the work, comes back home, has the dinner, arguments, something like that. Same roster, same routine. That's it with I told you, he is a young man, an energetic young man. Just think about yourself. You're not young students. Will you ever bear up? Will you be patient in this kind of, if you happen to face this kind of a scenario, are you going to cope up? Are you going to bear it up? But Tom is still bearing it up. Tom returns from movie. He goes to movies, he goes to see movies, then he comes back home and we find out a scene where he describes, he tries to escape through the movies. He tries to escape. I told you, Laura Wingfield, she used her beautiful glass menagerie to escape her loneliness, all that she had, the negative aspects of her life. And now here you find Tom Wingfield, he wants distractions of his depressed life through movies. This is the method he uses as a method of distraction. This is the method he uses to calm down his mind, which is depressed with the workload, with the mother's all the time criticisms, and the lonely sister who does not talk to her in a live manner. See the pathetic life. Okay, we are moving to the next scene, scene 5. Scene 5, reconciliation of Amanda and Tom. I like this scene actually. I really love the scene. I really love the scene because reconciliation of a mother and a son. Even I tend to sometimes have arguments with my mother, even you. But the beautiful part is that they reconcile. The previous night, after movies, he has arguments with the mother. Then the next day, you find reconciliation of Amanda and Tom. The mother and the son, they are all okay. Son goes and says, Mom, I'm sorry. And the mother, she has tears and she feels all okay. Okay, you're my son, I'm accepting you. I forgive you. That's the nature of a mother. So here we find a beautiful soul of a mother, Amanda Wingfield, whereas she forgives Tom in scene 5. And Amanda requests Tom to find a gentleman caller, again the term gentleman caller, for Laura. Now this is the first time the mother figure, she requests the son, Tom Wingfield, the narrator of the story, to find a gentleman caller for Laura, a good partner for Laura. That is the expectation that she has, and the son has 1,001 things to think about. Going to work, coming back home, paying the bills, and the harassments of the mother all the time, criticisms and all. He has a lot, he's a young man. And now another thing, finding a gentleman caller is very difficult. And the other part, the dark side of it is that the sister, the only sister, she is crippled. One of her leg is crippled. And she is shy and she is not into the society, so it's very difficult to find a good match for this young girl, Laura Wingfield. Right, so that is the end of scene 5, and we are moving to the next scene, scene 6. Tom promises Amanda that he will bring a gentleman caller for Laura the next day, the very next day. Oh my God, so happy. When you read the text, you'll also be happy. A gentleman caller for Laura. Many expectations. You also just think about the mother. Think about the mother when Tom promises the mother, Amanda Wingfield, okay mom, I have a good gentleman caller for our sister, Laura. Are you happy? Oh my God, I'm rejoicing. When are you going to bring? When are you going to bring? Tomorrow. Oh my God, you could have told me earlier. I would have got ready with the things. I have to clean up the house. That's it. Amanda Wingfield's nature. Amanda Wingfield's, that's the way how she behaves. She's over rejoicing because now she's going to have a good partner for Laura. She thinks about Laura's future. And she can die peacefully. Oh my God, my daughter will be in good hands. Right, so that's it. which happens in scene 6, and we are moving to the last scene, which is the scene 7, the lucky scene. But we call it this, I call it the lucky scene, but it's not a lucky scene, right? Going to the scene 7. Dinner with Jim. Who is this Jim? I described to you earlier Jim OConnor as the gentleman caller. Expected gentleman caller by Amanda Wingfield to her only daughter. And expectation of Amanda shatters, oh my God. The expectation, what is the expectation? Tom finding a good gentleman caller for Laura, but you see the first point, dinner with Jim OConnor, who is a colleague of Tom Wingfield, the narrator. And I described to you, he is a success in the high school, but a colleague of Tom Wingfield. I could not mention. Tom Wingfield works in a warehouse, in a shoemaking company. In a warehouse. Just think about the situation. And he earns around $65 per month. And I told you that Jim OConnor is a success in the high school. If he is a success in the high school, how comes on this earth that he is also in the same warehouse? A warehouse, a store of a shoemaking company. How comes? And I have to mention not only a success in the sense from several sides. He's a success. He plays basketball. He's in the debate society. He plays dramas. And the girls are really interested. He has a very nice personality. And how comes on this earth he works with? Yes, it is the Great Depression, which I explained to you at the beginning of the story in the Sociocultural Background. The Great Depression made the young men, put them into a pathetic situation. Their qualifications, they had a lot, but they had to work in minor job opportunities. In vain. We have to sympathize with such characters. But I told you that he's an optimistic character, a cheerful young man. Yes, I always tell you children, you also have to be like that. We face a lot of difficulties, but still you have to be optimistic. Like this Jim, optimistic, even though you have problems, he's cheerful. He copes up with the situation somehow. Right, back to the scene, the last scene. Expectation of Amanda shatters. The expectation shatters. How comes the expectation shatters that this boy is not a gentleman caller? When you look into the scene, if you watch the drama, I have inserted the link of the movie you can see in future. The expectation of Amanda shatters because at the end of the scene we find out Jim OConnor has a girlfriend. But what has Tom done? Tom has invited one of his colleagues for a dinner just to impress the mother. Not telling Jim OConnor, oh, you are invited as a gentleman caller. Just a dinner. Just to impress. Right? So, expectation of Amanda shatters. But we have a bit of a romantic scene here. In between these two where I have not mentioned, Laura Wingfield gets an opportunity to talk to this Jim OConnor. And I have to mention that Jim OConnor had been in the same high school of Laura at the beginning, in the days which she went to school, which has been interested. Right? High school, not college, before the college, right? So, she has had an interest on this character. But because she was a cripple, she has not explained her feelings and emotions to this character. But the character, Jim OConnor, has been friendly with Laura Wingfield. But finally, I want to tell you the romantic scene. I know that my children are very interested in romantic scenes where we find out Laura Wingfield She spends, okay, we'll say half an hour with this young man, where after the dinner, mother goes to the kitchen with the son, Tom Wingfield. Mother drags the son and goes to the kitchenette, which is a small space, and that is covered as a portiere, whereas you find in the stage. When you see the movie, you can see it nicely. And in the living room, in a separate part, you find Laura isolated with Jim O'Connor, and they have a nice conversation, and they find out, oh my God, we know each other, right? We know each other. So then after that, there is a nice scene, whereas after the talk, after the conversation, Laura Wingfield finds out that this is not the life that I deserve. She realizes that this is not the life I deserve. She has the time with the glass menagerie all the time. Glass menagerie. She shows the glass menagerie to this Jim in the final scene. And he questions, he's also very talkative, and he questions what are these little things at all. And there's a unicorn. There's a unicorn in this set of glass menagerie. In the animals, there's a unicorn. And Laura's most interested animal is this unicorn. She shows the unicorn to Jim O'Connor. And I will talk about that in coming slides. Okay, so, and the third point, Tom's argument with Amanda and leaving of the family. That is the climax of the story. As the father did, yes, Tom Wingfield, finally, he has an argument with the mother. You can understand why the argument is for. And then after, he abandons the family, same as the father. Please, you don't do it. Right, okay.